So my work is essentially helping people find everyday workarounds, solutions, perspective to deal with life situations, real life consequences, um, challenges, positives, recognitions. Usually, the people I'm introduced to are going through some type of life transition. Probably the most common one is, young adulthood. Um, Working with the IDD community, sometimes that can be pushed back to later in life. But at some point, I come into the picture based on this individual needs to be more independent. What that looks like depends on the person's history and comfort level, whoever else is in their life. Sometimes it's a parent who just wants to take a back seat, having influence over what that independence might look like. Sometimes that runs contrary to the individual. And a lot of my work is to deal specifically with the client and the person who actually needs to own the changes that have come to him. And I do that through building trust and rapport and try to connect with people on a level that develops trust. And after that trust is developed, then I can make suggestions or give opinions or perspectives that garner some kind of influence over the individual's choices without me being responsible for those choices and the individual owning those choices. So they feel very comfortable with the consequences, whatever that might be, and it informs their next decision. So it's important for me as the mentor to develop a relationship where I'm not intrinsic to the actual decisions being made, but I am able to be a trusted influence. How does this get done? I try and stay present and aware of the situation. While your client is coming to an understanding and an ownership of the responsibility, you can, as an observer, point out things that are going on in the community or with this individual or that individual that can relate to the person. So you've taken the time to get to know them and develop rapport so they trust what you're saying. So if you say something like, look at that individual over there, they have a different story than you on detail, but broadly speaking, they're doing the same, dealing with the same thing that you are. And watch how they deal with this or communicate or coordinate or you know don't handle it so well. We can learn by other people's mistakes. Bless them, but we don't need to repeat their mistakes either. So for me, it's just being present and aware and conscious of the individual's process and where they are, and be like, oh, this is relevant. This can relate to them. They can relate to this. This makes sense. This will connect the dots. This collaborates the story that I've been telling gradually. So once I have the clients trust and I'm able to influence the circumstances, we together try to develop new habits and patterns with an understanding of what has or hasn't worked in the past. And I like to try to align it as much as possible with the individual's passions, their own motivations. And again, that's all initiated through the rapport process where we get to know each other. And, as a mentor, you sincerely want to understand that person's motives. So you pay attention, again, being present. And then when it's time to build some structure on this foundation that we've developed, and you have influence, you can make suggestions on daily habits and routines that anchor better behavior and better results, creating more independence. And then as you watch somebody make decisions that you know aren't really going to be the best, but you allow them to kind of goof up on something or make a small mistake, um, those are invaluable because you're paying attention, you're on top of it, you're observing what's going on, you have the intention that this individual needs to achieve, and they need to internalize the process. Um, that creates the ownership, that lets them know that they're in charge, that they have support from somebody who is confirming what they're saying or not, and allowing them to integrate and feel the consequences of those decisions. And more times than not, it's going to be a success, maybe a micro success. But there's always opportunities to tell somebody, "Hey, so that was really good. You should feel really good about that." Rapport, trust, influence. That's something I tell all new clients. Like, this is going to be the strategy. This is what we're going to do. We're going to spend as much time as needed to get to know each other. And my objective there is that you trust me. And then at some point, I can help influence your circumstances with the understanding that these are your choices and you're going to own the results. And I'm going to be here in your corner supporting you, and then also calling you out for maybe not giving it your sincere effort. But again, respectfully, this is your process, and um, you know, I'm here to help if you want it. So that is my approach, and I guess for the sake of this video, we will leave it there. But my website is macneiljeff.com, and regardless of where you are on your journey, I wish you well, and good luck out there. Thanks.